I'm also handling a bit of India market as well, sitting from here because I have some connections working in the Indian solar industry as well. We have an all-in-one cabinet with 100 kilowatt PCS capacity, 105 kilowatt PCS capacity as well, and 215 kilowatt hour battery capacity, DC capacity in it. When it comes to the pricing side of things, I know India is very price sensitive market and our price is really competitive for the higher wattage inverters. I'm working with one of the distributor who is focusing more on the South India, women in renewable energy. We have at least 30 to 35% of our staff who are women customers. We tend to go out to be for the cheapest possible product in the market, but we shouldn't do it. Like just weigh the pros and cons of the brands that you are going after. So I have been in the renewable energy business since 2017, so which is like close to 8 years now. And this is my ninth year of operation in the same industry. I worked my way up from working with the retailer to the manufacturers now. So I was working with one of the retailer for like around 5 years, where I started as solar consultant and then worked my way up to sales manager as I was managing a team. And then got an opportunity to work with AP Systems, which is a microinverter manufacturer, and then with Jinko to promote their inverters and battery energy storage system equipments, which they launched just that year. And then with the help of a friend, I was recommended to one of the job at HYXiPOWER. HYXiPOWER is actually Dahua's subsidiary, or we can say like we have the same investors, if not subsidiary. They both are operating as independent entities, so I cannot say like it's a subsidiary, but they are both are independent. And HYXiPOWER is more into like manufacturing the PV inverters, in microinverters, battery energy storage system for residential, CNI, and utility sector. And that's what I'm managing at the moment for the Australia, New Zealand, and New Caledonia market, and also some of the more Pacific islands like Fiji, Cook Islands, and Papua New Guinea, and a bit more. I'm also handling a bit of India market as well, sitting from here because I have some connections working in the Indian solar industry as well. So was just able to secure like an order for the CNI inverters for them. So that's what the company does, and that's what I do as a country manager as of now. So for residential, we have a couple of products such as single phase inverters, hybrid inverters, along with the residential batteries, and our all-in-one three-phase product as well, in which you will have the inverter and batteries all in one module, so you don't have to purchase it separately. Plus, we are all-in-one single phase units are coming soon later down in 2025, probably in Q3 or Q4. That will be releasing. For CNI, we have an all-in-one cabinet with 100 kilowatt PCS capacity, 105 kilowatt PCS capacity as well, and 215 kilowatt hour battery capacity, DC capacity in it. And we have the all DC cabinet as well, up to 476 kilowatt hour capacity. We have some utility solutions as well, like the containerized solutions ranging from 3 to 5 megawatt hour. That's all DC-DC cabinets for the containerized solutions for large projects. So that's like the all solutions which we have got in our kitty at the moment. So when it comes to the pricing side of things, I know India is very price sensitive market and our price is really competitive for the higher wattage inverters. Like if you go above 6 or 7 kilowatt inverters, then you will find our prices really competitive. And that's the reason like most of my customers that I have, whom I have sold the 110, 120 kilowatt inverters in India, they are mostly happy with the pricing side of things.
Right.
And when it comes to the quality, our inverters and everything, they are made in China, but we have the service centers and pretty much the whole testing facility and everything in China and in Europe as well. We have a European entity as well. So we have entities in Europe, and the US entity is already in process. Australian entity is in process of registration. We are already operational in more than 12 countries, so we take care of the technology side of things and also the quality side of things as much as we can, so that we can offer our customers pretty much whatever is there in the market or somewhat better than them at a really competitive price. Not at the moment. We just have some distributors. So I'm working with one of the distributor who is focusing more on the South India. I have one more colleague in the Indian market who sits in our Delhi offices, and he's focusing more on North India. Then I have some connections in the western part of India, in Gujarat, Mumbai, Maharashtra, kind of areas where I'm pursuing some more opportunities there. And also in Bhopal and like Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, I have some connections, so we'll be pursuing some opportunities there. So as of now, like no rigid partnerships with the EPCs or the government, but we are in the process of doing so. And that's an interesting one, because I think the regulatory, like all the regulatory compliances and everything in each of the countries is like completely different. And I think India's regulatory bodies, they are pretty good in accepting the inverters which are like greater than 100 kilowatt, but less than 100 kilowatt, the BIS is mandatory. So I'm in the process of going through that. But it's just that like if it can be reduced, the processing time for BIS, if it can be reduced to like just, 15 days, 30 days, then that would be great. But right now it's just taking like 3 to 4 months. Which is quite frustrating for the end customers and for the distributors as well, who has already sold the system.
Yeah.
And it is not changing quite a bit. So the laws are quite stagnant. And I think even for the 100 kilowatt, greater than 100 kilowatt inverters, BIS is not needed. But then there are two IEC certificates which are needed, which is 62109 and 62116, which should be okay. 62109 is very common for the European market, so mostly all the manufacturers will have that. 62116, it might not be that common, so probably that might take a bit of time for the manufacturers as well to obtain it. And I am in the process of doing the same thing for our 110 and 120 kilowatt inverters for the Indian market as well. So summing up, when it comes to the regulatory changes, I think it has to be fast, like the processing time has to be fast. And whenever there is a change, the communication needs to be effective, because for more than 100 kilowatt inverters, this IEC regulation came into play like from January, but the circular was out in March. So from January to March, it was a dead time where we didn't know, and even the distributors didn't know what's going on and how they are going to pursue. Plus 20% import duty on the Chinese-made inverters, it's quite a bit more hectic, creating a bit of a havoc in the market for the Chinese manufacturers to like enter into the market. So yeah, that's one point of concern. I think we are quite lagging behind. Like we are just comparing it with the developing nations at the moment, but we should be more comparing ourselves with the US, Europe, Australia, where the renewable energy generation and adoption has been like quite significant. For example, in Australia, 46% of the houses has already got solar. Now, I know there is a population factor which comes into play into the Indian market, but take China, for example. China is like already in course of making like at least 30 to 35% of their total electrical supply based on renewables, be it solar, be it wind. And I think for India, we missed our yearly target. We just fulfill, I don't know by what amount we missed, but we only fulfill like around 25 to 30% of our yearly target in terms of total gigawatt of installation of solar panels and renewable energy technologies, be it solar rooftop, be it solar farms, be it the CNI projects, which is not quite great when it comes to the the Indian economy and for also the end consumers as well, because that's just creating a bit of a problem for the end customers in terms of the power prices going up. While if we have more and more solar, then the power prices might come down because it's kind of a free power for all of us. So I think India is missing out a bit on a big boom, but I think a big boom is coming to India as well in the next 3 to 5 years. like obviously we would like to like place HYXiPOWER in pretty much all the sectors possible. For example, women in renewable energy, we have at least 30 to 35% of our staff who are women, and we are proud of it. Be it the marketing team, be it sales team, be it the R&D team. We have got a huge R&D team though, like 70% of our staff is in R&D. And as I said, like 35 to 40% of women are in total, like when it comes to the HYXiPOWER company. So definitely women in renewable energy, we are making quite a bit of a difference in that. And what was the other one? Sorry, livelihood.
Yeah, livelihood. Livelihood program.
Okay. So livelihood program, I think that might be created a bit more with the help of the government, because for that we will need good infrastructure in terms of, even if it's in terms of manufacturing, or even if it's in terms of like allocating the projects. If we are working directly with the government, then it's the government who can hire the extra necessary manpower, where we can provide the livelihood to the extra necessary manpower or humans which are associated with that particular project. I think the most important message here would be like sometimes we Indians, like I'm talking about the end customers, we tend to go out to be for the cheapest possible product in the market. But we shouldn't do it. Like just weigh the pros and cons of the brands that you are going after, and see what's the value that you will be, or the brand that you are going after will be offering it to you at the price which is offered. So just compare apples with apples instead of comparing apples with oranges. That's the only message which I'll give it to the Indian consumers. For the distributors, I think distributors are already doing their bit by promoting the products, but sometimes distributors might only promote the products which they have got in stock, which makes sense if you are operating a business. But then for the end consumers, that might not be the best case scenario. So I'll always advise the customers to shop around and look for the best possible brands and best possible products around you. And also, most important thing, the best possible installers who will be able to do like the wiring side of things. If the wiring side of things is not great, then I think you are definitely going to face issues in your power transmission things. So that might not be a great thing to rectify afterwards if there is a fire hazard or something like that. So just talk to an expert, talk to someone like you guys who can actually guide them, someone like us who can actually guide them to have a look at the products in which makes a bit more absolute sense in terms of the economic side of things, and also like the quality side of things as well.